I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points. I'm D, and this is In a Hurry AJ. We're heading you with Season 6, Episode 23, Butchers of Bosnia, 4, Siege of Sarajevo. We continue the story of the two Serbian rat fucks that you guys know. Find us on Instagram, Patreon, and pointsopressure.com. Let's get to it.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
Oh, I should have called you leg up on the table, jerk off AJ. Damn.
You really should have.
What a fucking sweet intro return.
That was perfect. I thought you'd lost it in the 5 weeks or whatever.
Too, yeah.
Dude, it went by so fast.
It did. I hate that it went by so quickly.
Oh, I just remember I had homework today.
I was able to write everything so quickly this morning. I was like, holy shit. Okay, well, we're back at it.
Back at it like a crack addict.
We're back, baby. It has been over a month since you guys last had a new episode from us. We're back. What's new?
We're back.
How was your thing? I know you talked to Patreon about it already, but tell the fucking leeches.
Yeah.
tell the leeches how it went.
It was. I mean, okay. Today. Actually, in a couple hours is my halfway point through all my clinicals. And man, those first two were so rough. It's like midnight. I'm pushing drugs that could kill somebody, and I'm falling asleep.
Oh
and I'm
no.
like, oh god. After that, you get acclimatized to it. It really is just you just kind of feel tired all the time.
That's fair.
I understand why my father is the way he is now. Really, some clarity on
whatever. He's not even a fucking grouchy person. He's just
but he's sleepy.
He's perpetually sleepy, but such a sweetheart.
It keeps him calm. Keeps him young.
I just want to kiss him on his little forehead.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. But it's good. Let's see. As of right now, a third of my patients have died.
Hey.
Yeah, but it's the ICU, so it's kind of understandable.
Huh. That's fair.
Yeah, so I want to tell more, but
which hospital and what are their names?
Yeah, I'll give you their social.
Can you please give me the time of death and why for each one, please?
Mm-hmm. No, nice. I want to tell you more, but they're, HIPAA. I just don't want to fuck around with it.
Government oversight. Get that out of here. Protections.
Yeah. Here's something that completely unrelated to my clinical. Something I was reading on GTA earlier.
On Grand Theft
Auto, I was reading this that apparently you can be allergic to chemotherapy drugs.
Can you imagine? You find out you have fucking cancer, and then you're like, I'm gonna fight, and you just balloon up.
Yeah,
your first
that's
treatment.
exactly it.
Oh,
it's
God.
Crazy.
What's the allergic reaction?
Anaphylaxis.
Oh, Jesus.
Leading to encephalitis and brain death.
Listen. If you try to beat cancer, you will die.
Yeah.
If you don't try to beat this cancer, you will die.
And it was just bad luck because...
That sounds like what would happen to my girlfriend.
Yeah. It really does. It really does.
Oh, she has the fucking worst luck. It's hilarious.
It's fantastic.
Because it's not me.
Exactly. Yeah. I get to just...
She has terrible luck. That's why she's dating me.
Yeah, exactly. You're a symptom of the problem.
Terrible luck and taste.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's good. I'm learning a lot.
Oh, I'm sure, dude.
I'm learning more from these clinicals than I am in the class I'm in.
But the real question is, are you retaining it?
I mean, we'll see tonight.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'm basically running the show tonight, so
nice.
That'll be something. The nurse I'm with is awesome, little intense.
Yeah, a little crazy,
but in a good way. In the way a night shift nurse needs to be.
The only type of nurse that could put up with AJ, so it's fair.
Exactly, yeah.
The exact person you need.
For 120 hours in a month.
Oh, shit.
Fuck that.
It would take a crazy person. Mm-hmm. Myself included.
But I'm passing my class still, somehow.
Good.
Oh, that's
there you
good.
go. Hell yeah.
What have you been up to for the last 5 weeks? That's a long time. You must have done a lot of stuff.
A long time. And
you must have been busy day in, day out.
Oh yeah,
Lots of stories.
So many fucking.
Has
things.
nothing to do with single player Tarkov, I'm sure.
So many things have been done, and none of them have been me potentially getting my Tarkov account banned by using third-party software to play completely offline because their online is broken.
Hell yeah.
Nothing to do with that. No, I took a little road trip to Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Went to the Denver Comic-Con, and if you have seen Spaceballs, you would know what I dressed up as. This is probably potentially doxing myself, but it's like you guys fucking know what I look like if you went to our website, pointsofpressure.com.
Nice plug.
Face reveal there.
A very poor bio page that we really need to fill out.
We will someday. We'll get there.
We really need to.
So, yeah, went to Denver. We dressed up as assholes from Spaceballs. We looked pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Like, I shit you not, we took like 200 pictures with people. Like, everywhere we're walking, everybody. People are like, I'm surrounded by assholes.
It's like the Pooperuzzi. Ludicrous
speed, just Spaceballs quotes the whole time. People were pulling us off to the side to get pictures. It was a ton of fun, honestly. But that shit burned me out. However, the best moment of the entire trip was we're leaving on day 2, dressed up as the assholes. And as we're walking down the street, like, there are obviously a lot of cops in the area because they're like, oh, yeah, we got to police, be pieces of shit, whatever. They got to be racist somewhere.
Yeah. There's a hate crime happening. Yeah,
they're standing on the sidewalk, and I walk past them, and I stop and turn to my friends, and I go, hey, I'm surrounded by assholes. They were pissed. But what the fuck were they going to do?
What are you
going to do? Punch a fucking nerd?
Yeah, right?
I will crumble and cry.
Yeah.
and the last thing you want is a crying white dude in Denver.
Yeah, that's yeah. They'll have to lose their job and then move to another state to have their job.
A fat crying white nerd. Like,
yeah,
get out
they
of
don't
here.
want that. That's bad optics. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
So, yeah, I didn't see their faces, but my girlfriend and one of our Patreon subscribers actually.
Whoa.
They were like, they looked fucking pissed, and I'm like, yeah, probably, but fuck them. Yeah. So Denver was cool as shit. And then, yeah, I took like a bunch of days off of work to just take it easy and play video games, and I did just that, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
It's been nice. It's been a very casual break for me.
Hell yeah.
I've been digging it. But yeah, so we're back, and it's nice. It's nice to be back on the mic.
It is.
I've been dreading it, but
back
it's nice
on the
to be
Michael.
Back. Yeah, back on the Michael. The Schmeichel.
The Schmeckel.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times are had by all. Patreon subscribers, you may not have seen an episode, an exclusive show up in June, but
sorry. My bad. I forgot, and he was out of town.
I was out of town. It was the last day of June.
Bad.
I was gone, so you'll get 2 this month. There's one that's already up. So yeah, pop on there, go listen to it. And if you aren't a Patreon subscriber, if you decide to subscribe, this is big news. Everybody shut the fuck up and listen. If you subscribe to us on Patreon by the end of this month, July 2023, we have a little like thank you package that we're sending out with a handful of stickers, a little like photograph thing with our new logo on it. It's kind of a celebration for the rebrand. So if you subscribe on Patreon, make sure your address is on there. For those of you that are new and on Patreon that have recently subscribed, make sure your address is on there because a couple of you don't have it, and that's okay. But update it so we can send you the stuff. So yeah, if you sign up before the end of July, you get that. You get an extra episode every single month, an exclusive one for not poor ears.
Yeah.
We have a handful of Sloppy Seconds episodes, which are the little like 10, 15 minute things where we just bullshit. AJ's working on his series of voices.
Which I actually downloaded a bunch of interviews last night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I couldn't go to sleep.
Oh.
Because graveyard
Because you weren't supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A lot of stuff on there. We'd really appreciate it if you guys at least just go click on it, check it out. Even if you don't, if you can't afford it, don't do it. It's okay. We appreciate that you're just listening. All right. Now that all that shit is out of the way, is there anything you had before we get started?
No.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, last thing, if any of you have any businesses and you want to pay us a lot of money to advertise your business.
Yeah, if you have a family member who's very rich and successful and has like their own business, we're cheap.
Yeah, if anyone's related to a Nigerian prince, reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get back into it. I know it has been like 9 episodes and over 2 months since we did our last Yugoslavian episode. I apologize for that, but it is so much to fucking go
it's
through.
heavy.
Like it's a lot for the episodes, but I enjoy doing it. I'm going to try to get back into doing 1 per month. No guarantees, but we're continuing Sarajevo. So, to catch us back up, last episode, it started off with Ratko Mladic, one of the butchers of Bosnia. He had been sent as a general to Croatia. Ultimately, what he did in Croatia was unsuccessful, but successful. Successful as in they cut off supply lines. Unsuccessful as in Croatia beat the shit out of them and stole all their stuff.
Nerd.
Yeah, right. So he still gets promoted. I think is like a show of, oh, look at how successful he was, propaganda machine, whatever. But Ratko gets promoted within the Serb ranks. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, they finally have their independence vote. It is ultimately successful for them to get independence. However, this comes with a lot of Serbian propaganda about how, Serbs are pushing like, hey, we're going to be silenced if everybody's equal here. Bosniak Muslims ended up crashing a Serb wedding and murdered 1 or 2 people. Was kind of like and that's pretty much the same day as the independence vote or the independence vote announcement. And where things really kicked off. So we had the fucking bloody wedding, the SDS, which a reminder, those are the Serbian politicians, which are run by Radovan Karadzic, which Radovan is our other butcher of Bosnia. He is the self-appointed Serb president of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And Radovan turns on this major propaganda machine and really starts focusing on victimizing Serbs further, and it scared a lot of them and radicalized a lot of them, and then it also gave way to activating and pushing out the Serb shadow military that we had talked about the episode prior to that, which was working alongside JNS, which is the Yugoslavian People's Army. I know that this is just a major info dump.
It's catching me up. I got this.
So, Serb shadow military, which is basically just like the paramilitary, it's the police that now have Russian weapons in their hands, and they're teaching Serb citizens how to use them and tactics and everything. They're working alongside the JNS to carry out the RAM plan, which the RAM plan itself was pretty much how do we destabilize Bosniak Muslims the fastest way, and it was rape their women, kill their religious leaders, burn down their religious places, and get rid of all of their papers so that they have to be deported.
Yep, that checks out.
Yep. So that's where we are. Just at the very, very end of the last episode, the official president of Bosnia, Yvette, oh shit, I have it written down here somewhere.
Don't forget. I mean, you did forget, but
did.
you have it.
It's a fucking mouthful too. Where is it? Where is it? Oh God.
It's in there, I promise.
I know it is.
This is exactly how we should start off a new season.
I hate it. I hate that I had it here. And it's like somebody dropped a keyboard. So it's fucking hard to find.
Ah!
Fill the time. Fill the time. Fill the fucking time. Fill the time.
So
Fill the time.
you like jazz?
Oh God, I'm reading through everything.
So recently I was on a hot dog kick.
Found it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Izetbegovic is the
Big a bitch. Yeah.
the president of Bosnia, and he represents the Bosniak Muslims. And he came out and basically pulled his signature from the peace agreement because Serbia had already pissed and shit all over it. So he came out and he's like, yeah, my signature isn't on there anymore. Get fucked. And on April 2nd, I believe, April 2nd or 4th, he comes out and he basically says, Bosniaks and Croatians, get ready for war because Serbia is really fucking going in. Now, Serbia saw this as, get ready for fucking war. Or at least that's how they kicked out their propaganda and further radicalized Serbians, and pretty much was like, activate everything, like it's Ram Plan time. So, in a nearby city, Bijeljina, word gets out that the Serb paramilitaries had attacked unsuspecting Bosniaks and non-loyal Serbs. So it's starting to get out further that this isn't just something that happens in Sarajevo. This is happening all over Bosnia and Herzegovina. And so the city itself, it was a fairly small town, but it was a pretty big place for Bosniaks. It only had about 30 to 35 police officers that were willing to fight back. Remember, any of the Serbs that are in police offices were all fucking paramilitary. They were all fucking shadow. So there are only like 30 cops that are willing to fight against the JNA and Serb forces. And this whole ordeal leads to the literal genocide of over 1,000 people in the area. Women and children are being regularly sexually assaulted, left in the street to die. Some of them are taken to labor camps, but the majority of them were ripped from their homes, killed in the streets, and then their homes were fucking searched, pillaged, and burned to the ground. So Izetbegovic hears about this, and he more or less says, hey, the Serbs are going to fucking kill us all. We need to get ready. Like, stand up. This shit is going to get real. And the SDS, like I said, they announced that the Bosniaks are planning something against the Serbs, and their response is, Serbs, it's time to evacuate the city, which anyone that isn't paramilitary is like, oh God, get the fuck out. And anyone that is like, now's the time to stand up because we were told this is the time for us to do our thing and not evacuate. So the next day, a group of Serbian policemen, and I'm going to apologize. This episode is going to come off as like bang, 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 bang. Like it's event after event after event. I know the last couple have been like, oh, hey, we're prepping for everything.
No, this is where it
this
breaks.
is where shit gets crazy, and it is literally just fucked up event. It's constant. I understand if it's a lot to take. Pause it. Fucking catch up when you can. It's a hefty episode. So, a group of Serbian policemen get together and they go from station to station. And this is part of the plan, part of what was implemented in RAM Plan. And they basically, at each station, they like walk straight in because they're in police uniform. Like, who's going to stop them? They're just local police officers, it looks like. So these Serbian police officers walk in and they pretty much say, hey, who's Serbian here? And Serbian officers raise their hand. Anyone that doesn't, get the fuck out of here or we're going to kill you. So Bosniaks and Croat police officers are like, okay, cool, like fuck off.
All right, I'm leaving.
Because these aren't just like, oh, we're walking in. They're armed to the fucking teeth.
They've been waiting for this.
Yeah, this is
Since
this
the
is
RAM
like,
plan. Like, this is
this is
the
the
whole
dream of
point.
every single police officer in America.
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So yeah, they walk in, they push out all of the Bosniaks, all of the Croats. They sit all of the Serb police officers down, and they say, who of you are already involved in what we're doing, and who of you have a problem with it? And any of the ones that have a problem with it, they're told to get the fuck out or they're dead. So immediately, they're just growing their size. And they'll take the guys that are at this police station, and they'll take all of them to the next police station. And it's just this fucking
Snowballing.
military. They end up killing 2 officers. They completely take over a training school, and the training school is just deemed worthless now. They push everybody out. There's obviously no more police presence to at least attempt to protect people. And then you also have the JNA, which is a people's army, which is now also occupying the area that is once again not protecting the people's best interest isn't at heart.
Yeah, definitely not.
So their attempt is to prevent what happened in Bijeljina, which is if we get all of the officers out of uniform, out and away from the like weapons cases and shit that we've got in these police stations, they're not going to be able to even put up a fight, and we can genocide well over 1,000 people. So a few days later, on April 6th, Bosnia and Herzegovina are internationally and officially recognized to be an independent country. It's taken a month. They had filed like mid-March, and everybody went up in arms. I don't know if you guys remember, but in the official filing, Bosniaks, Croats, and some Serbs, I will admit, there were some Serbs who didn't fucking want this.
Yeah, there are always
there are always people that aren't
who see the writing in the wall. And, who don't go along with it.
The protected politicians to go officially file, officially vote to pass this independence, and then now it's finally official on an international scale, which means that the UN no longer has to see this as an internal conflict in Yugoslavia. Now this is a conflict from one country to another because of Serbia's involvement. Their president is definitely involved with all of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys recall, 2 episodes ago, there was that phone call that was like, hey, JNA is good to go. And that was from Serbian president to the SDS Butcher of Bosnia, Radovan.
Rat Boy and Rat Boy, yeah.
So, officially recognized, which means the UN now has the ability to step in more so than they did previously. There are a lot of people who don't like how the UN handled their entrance to Bosnia, which is fair.
No, it totally
but at the
valid.
same time, the UN was like, we're trying to prevent an all-out fucking war because of how fucking bad things are getting. So the UN steps in. They try to act as more or less a police force, but like they're a police force that doesn't have any weapons, that isn't policing. More or less, it's just blue helmets that are observing. Is a lot of what happened.
Yeah,
in
there
this
was a lot
situation.
of like, what's it called? A lot of
bystander
controversy, but basically people were like, why are you even here?
Yeah, there's a lot
You're
of
just
hate.
standing here watching. And then it came out, I don't know if you are ever going to go into it, but it came out like decades later that a lot of the blue helmets were taking advantage of their position and their situation, being a peacekeeper and getting away with more sexual assault.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad blood between. So a lot of the UN representatives or UN people that were there were from the Netherlands, and there's still a lot of bad blood between the Netherlands and Bosnia and Herzegovina because of what happened during this time. I will get further into that because right now the UN isn't terribly heavily involved. It's more towards when we get to Srebrenica, Srebrenica, and I forgot the name of one of the labor camps that I'll talk about next time. That because this is like a month. This has been a month since the official
15
vote.
Episodes or whatever.
Yeah,
it's been a month.
A lot. So yeah, the UN not entirely involved. They don't ever really get very heavily involved. That was NATO. But yeah, so just as a reminder to everybody. So yeah, the same day that Bosnia and Herzegovina get their official international independence is the same day that is officially recognized as the start of the Yugoslavian Civil War. April 6th, Serbian shells begin to drop onto Sarajevo. During March, during all of everything that we've talked about previously, while tensions were flaring and everybody's focus was on downtown, a team of JNA troops were climbing through the hills and the countryside and the mountains out and around Sarajevo. They were placing mortars at previously planned locations, which is part of the RAM operation.
Yeah, it was all pre-set up.
So they're setting up these mortars, and there's a map that I will try to get posted on Instagram that it shows Sarajevo, and then it shows like where all of the mortar placements are.
Oh, yeah,
and it's basically just a circle around Sarajevo, and they're just launching everything right into the middle.
Fuck them.
Straight to downtown. And no one had any idea this was going on because of what was happening in the city at the time. Everything was fucking insane. You're not going to think about, oh yeah, you know, what's going, like, who's climbing up the mountaintop? Like, who's putting mortars out there? Because you don't think that it's going to fucking escalate to that point, right? So it's estimated that 1,000 shells are dropped per day.
Damn.
Over the course of the 3,000, or not 3,000 years, of the
3,000
years. 3,000 years of the 3-year siege of Sarajevo. It comes out to, and I know I mentioned it in a previous episode, but it comes out to like 1 every 90 seconds.
Jesus. How can you even live?
You can't.
Yeah, like
so many fucking people died.
They
don't. I don't even think they have an official count for how many people died because of how impossible it was to report with that many shells being dropped regularly. There was a report from the UN that stated that a quiet day of shelling during this time was 200 to 300 shells that were launched from these locations, and an average day was 800 to 1,000. Upon those same orders to act. So while these shells are being launched on April 6th, paramilitary and JNA snipers are positioning themselves at previously planned locations at the end of either side of like very heavily trafficked streets, main highways, anything where they know people are going to be running from their homes. They're sniping civilians. They're killing off innocent children, innocent people that had nothing to do with any of this. And there's a photo that will be posted because I have it saved on my phone to make sure it is. And I showed AJ before we recorded of a Bosnian soldier, so Bosniak, that is... He's surrounded by like 15 people. They're all terrified, and he's the only guy there. And he has to protect all these people that are just terrified because all of their lives are at risk. because they don't even know where the fuck they're being shot from.
They're just trying to go get food down at the grocery store, and they're getting shot at and sniped.
Yeah, just
and mortared.
Trying to survive and going about their daily life in a terrible, terrible place, and this is what's happening. There's video footage. I can't guarantee that this will be posted. I don't even know if I could put it on Instagram.
Sure.
But
let's do it.
There's video footage of, like, it's like you said, this is one of the most well-documented, like, recent, or it was the start of the well-documentation of wars, of recent wars, I should say. Like, there were so many cameras there. There were so many crews, because all of this has taken 2 or 3 years to build up to this point. People have kind of seen this coming, and then a month of just utter chaos that people are reporting there, and suddenly shells are dropping and snipers are shooting, and there are reporters there that didn't think that they would be there on fucking day one of this war. It's terrifying watching footage of this, hearing stories about it. It's fucking awful to know that the hate that these Serbs had for their fellow countrymen was that bad that they'd climb to the top of a building with 17, 20, 30 other men that are also climbing to the top of buildings, and they're just slaughtering innocent people that have done nothing.
Yeah, they're not at all involved in any way with any of the politics or anything like that.
Just because they're of the two groups that they don't like in this country. All Serbs in one state. Don't forget. So the Serbs in the JNA also begin ransacking neighborhoods. They start going from door to door. This was very heavily detailed in Operation Ram. So they're going door to door and kicking in doors, beating down doors, breaking windows, whatever, getting people out of their homes. And if they aren't killing them inside, they're dragging them out to the street, killing them in the middle of the street. Or if they're not killing them in the street, then the men were separated from their wives and daughters, the sons from their sisters and mothers, and they're forced into prison camps. They were walked out to a prison camp that I'll talk about in the next episode. Women were raped in the streets all over Sarajevo. This was just happening everywhere. Then they'd be taken to local prisons for further abuse, murder, whatever the fuck the Serbs wanted to do with them. Information that these women don't even have. These are just civilians.
Yeah, they're just people.
And even if they weren't civilians,
still not okay.
Fucking war crimes that Ratko is pushing out. It's just
not only pushing out, but
he's actively planned this entire thing.
Premeditating. That's the word I was trying to think. Premeditating these events.
Yeah.
He wants them to happen.
They've known that all of this would happen, and they put it in place well over a year ago. And it was reported that by a few women that Serb soldiers would show up on occasion during their time in these like run down, disgusting prison conditions. Mind you, they shouldn't even be in a prison in the first place, but the prison conditions that they were put in were so fucking disgusting that women were dying of infections. Women were dying of sickness because of how fucking poorly these places were maintained. Like, they're basically just thrown into cells that are just 3 walls and bars. And that's like it. Like, they don't have, obviously, the Serbs aren't going to make any accommodations for them whatsoever. They don't fucking care about them. It's disgusting. It's fucking terrible. And these Serbs would just show up. They'd walk through the cells. They'd look through the cells. They'd grab a woman, take her outside, sexually assault and abuse them, and then bring them back and go back out to killing civilians. Like, it's fucking terrible, the complete disregard for human life that went on during all of this. So all of this takes place over April. This is everything that I just talked about was pretty much a daily occurrence. This isn't just one single day. This wasn't only April 6th. This goes on all through April, all through May, all through June, basically throughout the entire 3 years of the siege of Sarajevo. Now, Ratko Mladic, he shows up on April 24th with his team of generals and his unit of like 80K, 100K JNA forces. And he orders that every entrance and exit to the city is blockaded. Now, he's arriving to Sarajevo with a chip on his shoulder, but also with like a heaping amount of frustration and angst about what happened in Croatia, because he looks like a fucking incompetent moron in Serbians' eyes. Well,
Yeah.
he does, but he doesn't. But in his eyes, because of his fucking ego, it's been tainted a little bit. So he shows up and he goes, okay, guess what we're going to do right off the bat? The one thing that I was good at in Croatia. We're going to cut off electricity. We're going to cut off all water supply lines, and any inbound supply lines are going to be intercepted. They completely take over the Sarajevo like airport, so that the UN isn't even able to get supplies sent in over the course of the 3 years. They managed to, but that's going to be a story for like outside of the Butchers of Bosnia, because it is fucking crazy. Unfortunately, Butchers of Bosnia is just covering war crimes and not the happy, cool things that happen. But it's a really interesting approach that the UN took. But I don't want to spoil anything on that. So, it gets so bad with cutting off supply lines that they even managed to stop food and medicine coming in to Bosniaks and Croats. And they're turning everything away. And so these people that are literally trapped inside the city, being shelled constantly. They can't get food, water, medicine, electricity. There's no way of contacting anybody to get the fuck out of there. Like, what do?
You can't.
There's nothing
anything
you can do. So, all in all, the civilians went over 6 months without any access to any of these. It's literally just Mayday trying to find fucking anything, like, to survive. And that's why people like God's Rambo that we talked about last season, in season 5, God's Rambo and the Ghost Camaro. That's why those people that were civilians, not affiliated with any side, took it upon themselves to help people out like this, because it was so fucking bad. They're entering a literal war zone, putting their lives at risk. And I feel like this episode itself helps put what he did into perspective even further.
It really does.
When I did that episode, I probably didn't understand the true danger of it all. Obviously now, you guys and I totally fucking know. It
makes sense.
It was fucking awful. So, around the beginning of May, so Ratko's been there for about a week or two. He is again promoted to now chief of staff.
Well, this is going so well. You're going to be chief of staff now.
You're managing to kill off so many of the people that we don't like.
Here you go.
Here's another promotion. Now, not only are you general, but now you have a political standing over this with chief of staff. He's given command over a massive portion of the JNA. And at the exact same time, the Bosniak president, Izetbegovic, is kidnapped at the airport. And the Bosniaks are like, we fucking need him back. He's the only thing that's like giving us any idea of what to do. So the local Bosniak militias push for cutting a deal. And the Serbs agree that he can be used as leverage so that they can move a handful of the JNA safely through Sarajevo to leave, probably to just go take another fucking town.
Yeah.
So Bosniaks agree. They say, look, like, just give him back. We won't give you guys any trouble. Just get the fuck out of town. Do your thing, all right? They agree. Everything goes according to plan. The JNA has a UN representative with them, which is really fucking strange that the UN would be hanging out with the JNA during all of this.
Yeah.
My guess is that at the time, people didn't truly take into account how much the JNA was involved with the Serbs. Though I think that it's pretty fucking obvious if you were living downtown, but the UN was out of touch. So this group hops in a convoy. They start heading out of town to what they're considering safety. And during their departure, they have, like, we'll say, I don't know how many cars are in this convoy, but like it's split in half. All of a sudden, this fucking red car speeds through an intersection, stops in the middle of the intersection. Both sides of this convoy are kind of cut off. One side keeps going a little bit further because they don't know what the fuck has happened. The other side, they end up running like tail to tail into one another, and some of the JNA end up getting trapped in their vehicles because their doors get fucking smashed shut and shit. So some of the JNA hop out, and a small battle commences. Bosniaks hop out of the sides of the road, ambush the shit out of the JNA, shooting anybody that's getting out of their vehicles, just loading all of these cars with bullets. And this UN officer, I think he was a UN general, he says that he watched as the Bosniak fighters run up to these JNA cars, smash the windows in, point their guns in, and they just shoot until all of the windshields are dripping with blood. So, another example of how I am taking a really rough stance against Serbians and Serbs in this entire situation. But, like I said, this is war. Everybody's doing terrible, terrible shit. The Bosniaks are not immune to how fucking awful things got. Mm-hmm. That's fucking war crimes left and right by both sides. But this is retaliation for what the Serbs have been doing over the last 2 months. Like, I'm not saying you should expect retaliation like this, but when you've raped and stripped these men of their families, and you've thrown so many of them into prison camps, so many of their family members have already died, what the fuck do you expect? It's wartime. Like,
yeah,
it's unfortunate, and I hate that innocent people are dying, but I can't truly say that every single person in the JNA in that convoy were innocent people. Some were, but not all of them. It's such a fucked situation. Just know everybody sucks in this whole fucking thing.
Everybody sucks in war.
So over 40 people are reported to have been killed during this ambush on the convoy. And 3 days later, Radovan Karadzic, who is now assumed and appointed himself in power of Bosnia, if he hadn't already, he announces the creation of Republic Srpska. Now, Republic Srpska is no longer under the guise of utilizing the JNA, the Yugoslavian People's Army. Republic Srpska is the Serbs openly admitting we're the Serbian People's Army, pretty much. Like, it's more or less like the German army saying, yeah, we're all Nazis now, in a way. It's the exact same thing. They go, hey, yeah, we've openly genocided people in another country. We utilized the JNA and all of the Serbs that were in it, and we have all these local Serbs that are now paramilitarized. Everybody all falls under one blanket term now, Republic Srpska. And guess who's put in control of it?
One of the rats.
Yep, our good old friend Ratko Mladic. He gets yet another fucking promotion. He becomes the commander of the main staff, and like I said, it's no longer necessary for them to hide behind the JNA because the JNA is Republic Srpska now. So Ratko, in late May, early June, turns his entire JNA district of 80,000 plus men, and they're like, "Hey, we're headed out of Sarajevo," and he goes, "Oh yeah, because you're JNA, right?" And they go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Actually, now you guys are changed over to Republic Srpska, and you're going back in." And,
Wonderful.
So now suddenly they were short 80K people, and now they have 80,000 more.
Yay.
Ratko immediately at the end of May orders another round of shelling into Sarajevo, and this goes on for 5 straight days.
Jesus.
Constant shelling straight into Sarajevo, destroying any building. Like, they're not even choosing certain places to bomb at this point. If it happens to kill a Serb, whoops, they shouldn't have been there, I guess. The shelling is destroying any buildings. They're bombing, like, fucking soccer fields where people are at least trying to not think about the war that's going on, and just killing anybody and everyone. So that's as far as I have for today.
On a cliffhanger.
It was
80,000 new troops injected in.
80,000 new troops. We now have Republic Srpska, and things are getting and have gotten well out of hand in Sarajevo.
And the UN is doing nothing again.
Yeah, watching as war crimes commence. So it's a rough situation, and we will discuss this whole thing further in about a month. Perfect.
No, fantastic.
It's good to be back, but damn if it don't hurt.
Yeah. Ay, mi madre.
Well, as always, Patreon names, if you guys are interested, find us on patreon.com. You can search at Points O Pressure, or you can just do, patreon.com/Points O Pressure?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, drop those motherfucking names, baby.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. All right, so, of course, we've got the board. They allowed us to allow you to sign up. It's really on them. Yeah. So, Mini D, Toddle Waddle, and Weston, thank you guys so much. And then, of course, we've got, I don't know why I'm looking back at you, like you have the list.
Yeah, you're good.
And then we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Kitty Titties, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Hayden, and Laura Revo. Thank you guys so much for supporting. It's great to have some new names that are really fun to read.
Fucking hell, thank you guys.
And,
if you guys are interested in subscribing again, if you do by the end of July, we'll send you a little package with some goodies in it. But if you can't afford it, it's A-okay. We're just glad that you're here listening. And as always, if you guys ever have any recommendations for books, movies, TV shows, an article that you read that you thought was Points of Pressure as, like, I don't fucking know.
Please do.
Anything that you guys would like to chat about, even if you just need somebody to talk to, by all means.
Tax advice.
Yeah, no guarantees on that one on it being correct. Do it at your own fucking caution.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to recommend a show idea or whatever, anything that you find that you like, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram at PointsOPressure, or feel free to email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com, or find the contact us link on our website. We'll see you next Monday.